Alright, so I got my first commissioned piece, so we're here at Lowe's to pick up the supplies for it, and I'm gonna get to work on it. I'm extremely excited for this project, but there is a lot of work ahead of us, so let's go ahead and get into it. First things first, I need to sharpen the pencil. So I want each one of these boards to be 34 inches. Just make sure we get a straight cut, and I'll mark it down here as well. And then we'll use our square to make sure we get a straight line. When it comes to cutting too, you gotta remember that this is the side that we're wanting to keep. So we don't want it directly on top of the line because we're gonna lose some of this. You want it just to the left of the line to where the blade is going to take out nothing but the line on this side. And then we'll give this an extra measurement just to make sure it is indeed 34 inches exact. Instead of remeasuring every time, I'm just going to line these two boards up. Get them end to end, both pressed against there so it's straight. And then I'll put a line on the end of this board. We're ready to cut again. This is also the original piece, so I'm putting an X on it. This is the piece I want to take all my measurements off of. They're all going to be based around this piece. So if it was off by a little bit, they're all going to be off by a little bit. So if you've liked anything you've seen so far, or are interested in how I continue to grow in this craft, please consider subscribing. It would be greatly appreciated, especially at this point in time. As a very small channel, it would help me get out to more audiences and honestly encourage me more to make more content. After I make the cut, it takes me a little bit to get the other board on, and that is because I'm comparing the size of the new cut to the original. And if they were not exactly identical, I marked them with an O. I'm going to sand these ones down a little bit as they were just a little bit too long, but other than that, we are good to go. Now here comes the one part of this project that I actually don't really want to do. I'm not looking forward to this part at all. That's because I don't have a router table. We are going to be taking this test piece here, just make sure I have the depth set right on this. This right here, almost what I'm looking for. I'm going to adjust the height up just a little bit more. Alright, so after a few different trials, I finally got the cut exactly the way I want it. So we got the blade height set. Let's move on. And just to keep the boards off the table and the router off the table, the boards are going to be sitting on these pieces here. That is the first board done. Got a couple places where the router wanted to dig in a little bit more than it should have, but trial and error, that's not bad, I guess. Really wish I had a router table. I know there are probably professional woodworkers here looking at this and just cringing, but I am brand new to routering. I'm not used to it at all. And pretty new into woodworking, really. So if you have any tips, please feel free to leave them in the comments below. I'll try my best to respond to them. In one of my videos, I already had somebody give me a tip on drywall screws. So any suggestion I'm open to, because I want to get better at this, of course. Alright, so now all these are routed down. The next step is to get these framing pieces attached to the actual shelving parts. So the piece this is going to be going onto is 36 inches long. I need to cut this down to 34 3/4 inch though in order to get the shape I'm wanting. Alright, so I got my mark made. This time we are keeping this side of the board, so I will adjust that with my cut. Right, so next we're going to attach this piece to this board. I've got my marks on where it needs to be. A couple of the brad nails didn't want to go in all the way, so give me a second to get those knocked in, but then the top of the cabinet will be done. Now we build the bottom of the cabinet, but instead of leaving the front open and using these smaller boards, we're going to be using these full-size boards and completely enclosing it, as you will not be seeing the bottom at all. And with that, the base is complete and we're ready to start assembling the rest of the cabinet. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and set the top on here. Help pull these in a little bit because there's a slight bow in them. So the top will straighten that all out. Alright, with the main supports being attached, there's this board's still loose, and so is that one, but just for the time being, we're going to check how level this is. Pretty dang. Alright, so I went ahead and anchored these in the rest of the way. And we're going to start putting these pieces around the sides. Slight change of plans. There's going to be a shelf roundabout in here. We're going to go and get that installed first. So I got my mark made at 6 inches. This is the board that's going to be used for it. It's slightly bowed, so hopefully I can straighten that out. Since both sides are attached and level, I'll go ahead and quick check, and it is level clear across. Alright. The boards I've cut to go in the gap are 34 and 3/8 inches. And with that, the shelf is installed. Alright, so now I'm going to put these 4 boards on the back here. I went and got some more lumber. I'm going to need to cut these down to size. I'm not going to do that video though, because you've already seen that process. There ain't much left to do for this anymore. I gotta put a couple boards on each side here. I gotta split a board to put down the middle. I'm not gonna do either of those on video though, because well, that process has been dragged out too long. I went ahead and put some putty over top of the screws to give them that chance to dry. I will be recording me trying to split this 34-inch board though, using a bandsaw. Well, here's how the attempt at splitting the board turned out. I'd say it worked pretty well. Before I put the doors on, I'm going to sand it all down and stain it. ready to start staining the wood. And I just want you to remember what this looks like, because it's going to be drastically different by the end. Once I start staining, I'm not going to be touching the camera because my hands are going off. It's going to be covered in stain. So whatever angle I end up having this at, the entire video is going to be like that. Alright, that's staining almost done. Once this dries, I'm going to turn it over and get everything on the other sides. I unfortunately did not get the door building process on camera. My grandfather helped me with that, and I don't want to spend that time with him without having a camera in our face. But we got one of the doors done, besides for stain, so that's what this is going to look like. It's going to sit right in there. And I also went and got a new set of clamps. I got a 4-piece. I got two 12-inch ones, then two 6-inch ones that came with the set are holding the other door together right now as the glue dries. As mentioned before, I didn't get the door making process recorded, but this is the finished product. I've got latches on both doors ready to hold them shut, and a little cubby up top. And I'm really happy the way the stain turned out around here on the back of this. And is this Nana approved?
Definitely.
If you enjoyed today's video and this whole cabinet building process, please consider liking and subscribing. And we're going to be doing other stuff like this in the very near future if you'd like to check it out.